anyone know who this is? A lot of you may know Russell Wilson as a two-time Super Bowl champion, but did you also know that he has come out to say that if we start being honest about our pain, our anger, and our shortcomings, instead of pretending they don't exist, then maybe we'll leave a world a better place than we found it. Challenges and difficulties may fall upon us. We don't seek them, they come our way. My talk today will be about the mental health of humans, with a focus on Olympic athletes to justify the need to, as a human race, build back as better, mentally stronger people. Humanity 2.0. Prior to the now infamous COVID pandemic, we were social creatures. We craved interaction to keep us sane. We read facial expressions, and I mean, not only did we hear someone say something, we saw them say something. In fact, facial expressions are extremely important for detecting people's emotions and intentions, as the eyes and the mouth are crucial cues for detecting angry and happy expressions. The pandemic led to a disruption of all 4 distinct domains of social networking: support, networks, intimacy, and interaction. The 22nd of March 2020 marks the day that created the ripple effect in the UAE. The stay-home directive was issued as authorities started their sanitation drive. As many of you may know, masks were made compulsory, and social distancing was expected to be adhered to. Now, thankfully, looking back, we can say that the UAE did handle the pandemic exquisitely, but for close to 2 years, interaction was drastically altered. A few days later, on the 24th of March, the Tokyo Olympic Games were cancelled. I'm assuming everyone here plays or has played a sport, be it football, swimming, or basketball. Personally, I'm a swimmer. I train 8 times a week and have dedicated most of my life to achieving great things in the water. Honestly, I don't know how I would react to missing out on an event as big as the Olympic Games. The discipline, dedication, and determination, all gone to waste. It is my dream to make the German national team, and I too, like Olympic athletes, but definitely not to the extent of, watch my diet by minimizing sugar intake, eating sufficient amounts of protein, vitamins, and carbs. Having sacrificed most of my life to achieving great things in the water, I'm ready to do everything to make my dreams come true. Now, close your eyes and imagine the mental state of an elite, and I mean truly elite Olympic athlete, on receiving the news of the Olympic Games were cancelled. With uncertain years of blood, sweat, and tears, all gone to waste. With uncertainty lingering in the air, a lot of athletes were perplexed about what to do. Now, keep in mind, the Olympic Games happen once every 4 years. So everything from training regimens to nutrition is catered to with peak performance in mind. Where to go from here? Luckily, the Olympic Games were quickly moved to 2021, but this time a bit different. Masks, no spectators, no big Olympic fireworks, and no true Olympic spirit. Aside from the obvious economic implications, the Olympics impacted the minds of all. Anyone, anywhere can be dealing with mental health issues and no one could know. But before I elaborate on the topic of mental health and its importance, I would like to quickly define what it is and what it actually refers to. Mental health is one's emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Yet its importance is more often often shrugged off, disregarded as a mere, it doesn't matter, I'm fine, by the struggling individual. A lot of people choose to acknowledge mental health, yet suppress and decide not to bring their own issues to light. If one thinks of Olympic Games, one name should and probably does spring to mind: Michael Phelps, the man with 23 Olympic gold medals. To the surprise of many, he suffers from ADHD and intermittent depression. A man whose triumphant image seems detached from hurt was a man that seriously contemplated suicide in 2012. He said that if he had just one more sleeping pill left prescribed for his ADHD, then he would not be here right now. He has also come out to say that although the Olympics were the pinnacle of his career, it is not uncommon for athletes to feel lost after the long and tedious 4-year build-up, as what they have worked so long to achieve disappears into thin air. He thoroughly regretted not seeking help, not speaking to anyone with the opportunity of providing help. This caused him to fall into depression. In a recent interview, he has said that athletes are supposed to be these big macho people with no problems and no weakness. But that is so wrong, and that he is now grateful he can ask for help. I would now like to describe how a lobster grows, so please think about the following words carefully. A lobster is a soft, mush-like animal that has a firm, rigid shell. The shell itself does not grow, but when the lobster does grow, the shell becomes extremely confining, provoking discomfort. To tackle this, The lobster hides under a rock to shield itself from predators and casts off the troublesome shell. As the lobster grows further, it yet again feels discomfort and the process is repeated. The stimulus for the lobster to grow is that it is put in an uncomfortable situation. Times of stress are times of growth, so experiencing discomfort is the only way to grow. Obviously, during the pandemic, we were all put in uncomfortable situations, for example, during quarantine. We all felt down. We all sought, almost craved that human interaction. Some of us may have even shed a tear or two. But it's not how you fall, it is how you build back. So I'm here to say we can evolve as a human race. We can become humanity 2.0. But how can we improve our mental health, you may ask? The first and most crucial step is identifying something is wrong. Identifying and admitting that one is struggling with mental health issues. Bottling up or holding in one's emotions and problems is the worst thing one could do, as it causes someone to act differently. And this behavior tends to be an inaccurate representation of that individual. Some people might think they're too big or too much to open up, and the opening up is only for the weak or for the frail. But I am here to say that opening up is the most difficult thing one could do, and that bottling up emotions is certainly a lot easier. Many also accept as true as a misconception goes that opening up means speaking to a therapist or a specialist, but opening up could be as simple as talking to a person to the left or to the right of you. Our mind can be a friend or a foe. The one thing we all spend the most time with is that one voice inside our head. We decide what is being said, good or bad. Think about it. Our perspective on things, be it as big as missing out on the Olympic Games or as small as a bad grade on an exam, dictates the way we live our life. In conclusion, I'd like to say that to evolve as a human race, to achieve Humanity 2.0, we have to become more aware of what goes on inside our mind. Thank you.